Westerns love to play fast and loose with history, but some go so far off the rails that real historians can't help but laugh. We're breaking down 10 Westerns that missed the mark so badly, they might as well be fantasy. If you thought these movies were historically accurate, buckle up, it's about to get messy. Let's kick things off with a John Wayne classic. The Undefeated has the Duke playing a Union colonel who becomes unlikely pals with a Confederate officer after the Civil War. While the film has its moments, historically speaking, it's a bit of a mess. Confederate soldiers heading to Mexico in droves to keep fighting. Yeah, not exactly something your history teacher would have covered. Still, with a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got enough entertainment value to keep you watching, if you can look past the inaccuracies.
Why did you come clear out here to continue a war that ended months ago in Virginia?
Because I'm a stubborn man. Does that satisfy you?
You ain't expecting trouble, are you, John Henry?
Trouble? Maximilian on one hand and Juarez on the other and bandits in between. Why should we expect trouble?
My Darling Clementine is a retelling of the famous gunfight at the OK Corral. Sort of. Think of it as a retelling of a retelling, with so many liberties taken that it's almost a different story. Doc Holliday is portrayed as a surgeon in this version, but in reality, he was a dentist. Factual mishaps aside, the film scored an impressive 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, proving that even if the facts don't line up, sometimes a great story can win the day.
What are you doing up here?
None of your business.
Why don't you behave yourself? Go on, get out. Go on back where you belong.
I'm not leaving till she gets out of town.
Told you to get out of town and stay out.
Next up is The Wild Bunch, a gritty classic that doesn't let historical accuracy stand in the way of a good gunfight. Set in 1913, the outlaws in this film are rocking Colt M 1911 pistols, which, by the way, didn't see widespread use until World War I. But who's counting when the action is this intense? With a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's clear that audiences were here for the adrenaline, not the historical timeline.
Good luck, boys!
Stagecoach is one of those films that changed the Western genre forever, but its take on history? Not so great. John Wayne's character finds himself protecting a stagecoach from attacking Apache warriors, but like many Westerns of the era, the portrayal of Native Americans is wildly inaccurate. Yet despite its shortcomings, Stagecoach holds a near-perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, a testament to its groundbreaking storytelling, even if the facts don't quite add up.
You're the notorious Ringo Kid.
My friends just call me Ringo. Nickname I had as a kid. Right name's Henry.
Seems to me I knew your family, Henry. Didn't I fix your arm once when you bucked off a horse?
Are you Doc Boone?
I certainly am.
Wild Wild West is a wild ride, but not exactly for history buffs. Will Smith and Kevin Kline team up in this steampunk Western that's more about giant mechanical spiders than anything resembling actual history. The film ignores historical accuracy so completely, it's in a league of its own, pulling out a plot involving a Confederate general's plan for domination. Despite its poor critical reception, a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, Wild Wild West brought in $222 million worldwide, proving that sometimes spectacle trumps sense.
Stay out of my way, lady!
Lady, I'm a U.S. Marshal!
Now what?
Spaghetti Westerns were never too concerned with sticking to the facts, and A Fistful of Dollars is a prime example. Directed by Sergio Leone and starring Clint Eastwood, this film threw historical accuracy out the window in favor of moody atmospheres, stylish gunfights, and that iconic anti-hero swagger. Despite its disregard for real history, A Fistful of Dollars managed to carve out a legacy of its own, with a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes to prove it.
3 coffins ready.
Listen, stranger, we don't like to see bad boys like you in town.
Cat Ballou took the Western genre and mixed it with slapstick comedy, focusing more on entertainment than history lessons. Jane Fonda plays the school teacher turned outlaw, with Lee Marvin's drunken gunfighter as her sidekick. At one point, Marvin is on horseback, and the horse is literally standing on two legs. Historical accuracy? Not a chance. But with $20.6 million at the box office and a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, Cat Ballou proved you don't need to stick to the facts to have fun.
And the first time I ask you to do one little thing for me, like rob one little train.
Now, hold on, man. Listen, Miss Ballou. Now, ma'am.
A horse ranch Indian, a drug and gunfighter, a sex maniac, and an uncle. Hey.
Maverick is where the Western genre meets comedy, delivering laughs over historical accuracy. Based on the 1950s TV series, Mel Gibson stars as Brett Maverick, a charming card shark trying to raise $25,000 for a high-stakes poker game. But when the plot brings Russian royalty into the Old West, you know historical accuracy isn't a priority here. Still, Maverick was a hit with audiences, raking in a huge $183 million worldwide, showing that sometimes a fun romp is all you need.
One man almost died for it.
Stop playing around and stop those horses!
Again and again.
Whoa, Ollie, whoa.
And again.
However did you escape from those hostiles?
Sam Raimi's The Quick and the Dead isn't concerned with sticking to the history books either. Sharon Stone stars as a mysterious gunslinger squaring off against quirky gunfighters in a high-stakes quick-draw contest. The film throws in some odd anachronisms, like the overuse of dynamite, which wasn't even around during the film's time period. Even with its historical inaccuracies, it managed to pull in $46.6 million at the box office, despite earning a lukewarm 58% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I now declare the quick draw competition open. Anybody can challenge anybody.
Sign me up.
Sure must want to die young, miss.
The Ridiculous Six is Adam Sandler's parody of classic westerns, taking aim at films like The Magnificent Seven. Sandler plays an outlaw raised by Native Americans who discovers 5 half-brothers, and together, they go on a mission to save their father. The film's historical accuracy is all over the place, like featuring a baseball game years before the sport was supposedly invented. Despite being panned by critics with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, the film became the most-watched movie on Netflix in its first month, proving that even with historical blunders, people love a good laugh.
Let's ride! Yeah!
I swear a man can't ride 5 miles in this territory without running into outlaws and Indians. Apparently there's some new gang out there robbing everybody blind.